1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Chat with Cats.
Ooh.
This is what I've decided that I'm going to be calling these little sessions that we're going to be having. Chat with Cats. I like it because it rhymes.
You get a jingle as well.
Yes, no, I have already. I've got a little jingle that goes with it, and those intros and outros. I'm sorted. So welcome to Chat with Cats. And today I have my really awesome friend here, Mosetsana, aka Mo, aka Moss at Large. She's got her own YouTube channel. She's very famous. She's got
a whole 150 subs.
So I think everybody that's watching this needs to go and subscribe to her channel so that she can get a few more, so that she can actually become famous, a YouTuber influencer person. But yeah, Mo and I have known each other for about 13 years, which is quite long. It's probably one of the longest relationships I've ever had. But we had some good times. So Mo, just tell me, what is your favorite memory of me?
I'm already laughing because I know exactly. Mind you, for the longest time, this was a very disturbing memory, which I have actually. I have 2 or 3, but I think from my top 3, it's probably the yogurt incident.
That's mine too. But I'll let you tell everybody what went down with the yogurt incident, because this is actually, to be honest with you, it's just a testament to how hilarious you are. Can't help yourself. You're just so funny.
I don't even know what warranted that type of reaction, because I remember it was in the morning and we used to get to work relatively early, like the 7 o'clock gang. I used to catch the bus and then you would be already there because you were coming from the south or
Lucas.
Sorry?
With Lucas, eh?
Yes. With Lucas, the bus drive. Oh my God, you still remember Lucas? 13 years later, you still remember Lucas. Anyway,
the love of your life.
Right? I don't even remember what started the conversation, but we were talking about something and I said something till this day, I don't remember what I said, or whatever it was I said, I didn't think was that funny because I thought it was just a reaction to something that you said. But out of the blue, Catherine just burst out laughing. Right after you took a bite of your yogurt, and it went all over me. It went into my cereal, on my keyboard, on my desk. And then at some stage, I started laughing because I was like, is this really happening to me? And Catherine's just I don't even think, in the moment you were sorry, because you were just wow, this is just happening. I remember it happened to me in slow motion, I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. But I think my other favorite memory was when you were teaching me how to drive and I was so bad at it. And you were just looking at me what do you, I said, but you said reverse, what are you doing? Ooh, yeah. Remember in the little cul-de-sac? Down there,
yes.
It's by Winchester, yeah.
Yeah. I'm still here. I'm still in the same place. I haven't moved.
Are you in the same place? Yes.
Yeah. Gosh, hey,
you were so frustrated, but you were so patient with me because I just wasn't getting this thing. I just wasn't getting it. If I didn't kill your clutch plate that day, I don't know what would have.
Okay, cool. So let's just jump into what we're actually here to discuss tonight on this talk show.
Chat with Cat.
Yeah, Chat with Cat. So I read something on Reddit. And I thought that it was actually quite interesting because I thought about like my own life and my own situations and how it would apply. This specific question is referring to definitely like a more romantic relationship, but I'm wanting to speak about a romantic friendship, family, whatever, you know, pets. I don't know. Your pets could take you know, some people are in a relationship with their pets, so you know, I'm not a pet person. Let's just get that out there.
Video.
Yeah. So the question is this, okay? One thing I try to do when dating someone I really like is to match their level of energy, effort, enthusiasm, and so forth. This means no chasing, but also no playing hard to get. When I've mentioned this, I sometimes get accused of being manipulative. It doesn't feel manipulative to me though, because I think it's A, considerate because I'm respecting their need for space versus engagement, and B, making sure we are investing equally in the relationship. What do you think? Matching good or bad?
Well, I think you should take the first. I think you should take the first one, and then I'll jump in.
So, I mean, when I first mentioned this topic, not in this much detail, to Mo, she mentioned obviously like she's on one side of this whole situation, and I am on the complete opposite end, because I'm most definitely an over communicator. I'll have no shame in sending you 23 texts in a row. And then, you know, like I'll be like, okay, it's been 2.5 minutes and they haven't replied yet. Like, what? Like, I start having a crisis. Like, is it something I said? Like, have I upset them? And then I start like spiraling into a ball and end up, you know, rocking in the shower. But yeah, I'm definitely an over communicator in any kind of relationship as well. I'm definitely more of the I put a lot of effort in, if that makes sense. I put a lot of effort in, like, you know, I'll make sure you're okay. I'm checking up on you. Are you okay? Is everything good? Do you need anything? Like I will always, and I always end up being the person who texts people first, like that, you know. So for me, like recently, I've tried to be a bit more chill, because I've had some people telling me that could possibly be a little bit too like intense. And that's a direct quote.
Yeah.
So I've kind of had to like step back and be like, okay, you need to calm down. Yeah, you need to just calm down, be chill. It's okay. You know, if people don't reply to you, it's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh. So now I'm thinking like, okay, so do I match people's energy? You know, whether it's friends, whether it's, you know, somebody I'm dating, do I match their energy? Because sometimes for me it feels almost like I'm not being true to myself and who I am. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like there has to, like they said in that question, there has to be like an equal amount of give and take in any relationship. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you like?
I am, so I'm on the other side of the spectrum, but also somewhere closer to what you're saying. But it depends on, you know, it depends on the type of relationship. So in my romantic relationships, I'm sort of both, but also very much in the beginning, for example, of dating Kay, I was very much on the other side of the spectrum. So I was this person who, you know, kept to themselves. I remember one of the things that used to just absolutely annoy her was the fact that if I didn't answer the phone, like I'd just be like, I didn't answer the phone. I wasn't at the phone. I don't feel like I need to call you back and tell you why I wasn't at the phone. You know, I'm like, call you when I remember to call you back. And it used to drive her berserk. And to me, I wasn't doing it maliciously, but I realized that, okay, I'm now in a relationship and she's just checking up on me, right? It's not to smother me, it's not to control me, but at the time it felt like that. It felt like, you know, I was losing a piece of my autonomy, you know. So I want to engage when I want to engage. You can send me 15 messages and I will just look at them, because at the moment my soul is just like, I cannot deal with that right now. I need this time to myself, and your messages, I like invading my space. And I will answer you whether it's in 2 weeks or whether, like I've told my friends, I'm just like, I'm not avoiding you, I'm not being rude. And they know, they're just like, okay, cool. No, like, if you're gonna call me, like, this is one of the things that just to give me so much anxiety. It's just random calls. I cannot deal with just like, even if we're friends, we're my best. Drop me a message and just be like, yo, I'm gonna call you. Are you available? Because I need to psych myself up for it. So in terms of like, when you're talking about people matching, you know, their energies, I get that. But in the same breath, I'm just like, I'm not doing it to be aloof or to be mean or whatever. I just need a second to just like, you know, just pull myself towards myself. But in the same breath, all the same breaths, when it comes to, am I frozen? Oh, I'm back. I've cut people off, friendships. Oh, there's the crowd. The studio audience.
The studio audience is getting very excited about this
topic. I've had instances where I've decided that a particular person isn't meeting my energy, and I've made the call that I'm actually not going to continue with this, because this is, trying to match their energy it's just a lot for me, because I think giving that energy is a lot. So to see it like not mistreated or like not handled properly is, it felt like a stab in the back for me. I'll give you an example. You remember my friend Nasli?
Yes, I remember. Sorry, I just tried to mute it there for a second so that.
Oh, the party.
Yeah.
So Nasli and we've been friends since high school. The first person I sat next to when I started high school was Nasli. And we've been friends for 20 odd years, but it's also had its on and offs, and a few of those on and offs was because I chose to end the friendship. What was happening was I'd be like, hey, how you doing? And this is probably after months of us not talking or whatever. And I'd be like, how are you doing? And then she'd say, no, I'm fine. How are you? And then I'd say, I'm fine. Then I'd proceed to tell her about what's happening in my life. And then when it was her turn to tell me what was happening in her life, she just quickly changed the subject. So I felt like, sorry, I'd be the one that was like, you know, giving information about what's happening, and you know, she's closed up about that. And so I became, you know, I was like, that's crazy. I don't appreciate that. And then it kind of escalated to us talking about meeting up, and then I would get ready to meet up with her, you know, put on whatever little makeup I put on, get dressed, and then she would not tell me that she's not coming. So I'd be waiting for her. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock comes along, and then she'd send me a message the next day saying that, oh no, sorry, I couldn't make it. And so like 1, 2, or 3 of those, I was like, no, I'm done. I cannot do this. And I didn't even tell her why. I just stopped talking to her. I stopped talking to her. She would send me messages, and I was just, those I actively ignored, because I'm just like, I don't care what energy you feel like you could have told me, you know? So in that regard, like, when I was talking about like my petty labelness, my pettiness is that I just won't stand for that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the worst part about this under-communicating of mine is that I won't even tell you. I won't even tell you why I'm pissed. I won't even tell you that I'm ending this or this is over. I'll just go cold turkey and not talk to you and carry on like it's not a thing, which is it's not kind of unfair. It's unfair because it just leaves the other person wondering what they did, which to me, I'm like, that well know what you did. So don't act brand new. that's like the really problematic part about it on my side. And you know, there'd be times when I'd be feeling so emotional in my romantic relationships, like with Kay, for example, and I'd just be like, you know what? No, this is not a big deal. I'm not gonna talk about it. And I'd just, pack it away and just be like, and she's like you. She wants to communicate about everything. Like, she's just like, this bothered me. We need to talk about it. And I'm just like, why? But I've learned that why I didn't like that was because I don't like confrontation. And so I just be like, no, not today.
Yeah.
Not today, but it will come up in other ways later on. Me cutting off my friend, or a fight that we would have, which would just escalate so quickly because I've been like sitting with this thing that bothered me that I didn't bring up, that I didn't talk about, because I was just like, nah, no, I'm not doing it. Not today. So yeah, I'm definitely on the other side of the spectrum.
I think it's also tricky, like
2 hours later.
put the phone down, and she was like, sure, like that was a bit rude. And I was like, was it? So like I try to avoid, I mean, I must like really, really like you if I answer the phone when you call, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I won't hear my phone, but if I do answer it when you call, like, you must know, like, I like you a lot. But then, like you said, like I like to communicate. And I don't like hearing, bad things about myself, you know what I mean, from other people. So it's not a nice conversation to have with somebody, saying like, listen, like what you did, like, or what you're doing, I don't like it. Like, well, like, oh, well, like, and sometimes it's who you are. So it's quite a tricky thing. But then on the opposite side, like, yeah. So on the opposite side of it, like, then having to, do the same with somebody who is an under-communicator. I think it's more daunting as a person who's a communicator, confronting somebody who's not a communicator, or doesn't like to talk about feelings and stuff like that, because already going into it that they're not down for that, you know what I mean? So now you're like, I need to talk about this, but like, I'm afraid to approach this person because, like, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna hate it. I think then what happens a lot of the time is that neither of you communicate. Because one person
she's talking and I'm just like, okay, when is this gonna end? This is awkward, this is uncomfortable, when is this gonna end? I'm not hearing what she's saying. I'm there, but I'm like, I'm not present.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I think like you were saying, Petty LaBelle, I mean, I've had my moments as well. I've had my moments recently, actually. But I think that, one good thing is, I like to think that I have some sort of level of self-awareness. So I know when I'm being ridiculous, demanding, or when I'm being extra, I know. But sometimes I actually just have to sit with that feeling for a while and allow myself to just, like, I'm pissed off. But I do have that kind of level of self-awareness where, like, the next day I'll be like, you were wrong and you need to apologize, you know what I mean?
One thing that's like maybe that's pulled me into that self-awareness is being with a communicator. Like, I think the way I was raised and the way the communication happened at home, or lack thereof, it was always in terms of a conflict, right? So there was never any type of, we're gonna resolve this. I never saw anyone apologizing to anyone, so I avoid those uncomfortable conversations, because I knew how it was at home, that this is gonna end badly. But being with someone like Kay, who is a good communicator, like, just told me that it's okay. We're gonna have disagreements. We're gonna have shit that we're not okay with, and it's fine. It's fine. You are who you are, and I am who I am, and that's okay. But we just need to somehow meet in the middle, when it comes to this. So, like, she slowly, like, nudged me towards, very slowly nudged me towards. It's like, go! Oh my god! And I'm like, no, I like it here. It's safe. So yeah, you guys there, you have it heavy. But on the other side, like, I also tell her, like, for example, like, with her either with her siblings or with her friends as well, I'm just like, you need to stop talking to that person, because she's not trying to call you first. So just wait and see if she's gonna call you. If she doesn't call you, then you know what's up. You know what you need to do. And she's like, no, I just want to see what's wrong. I gotta work it out. I'm like, don't do it. Don't call them.
I'm exactly the same. And, like, I think, like, sometimes I wish I could be like that, and I try. You know what? I try, but then I think also, like you said in the beginning, it really depends on the relationship that you have with somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, like, honestly, like, if I love you, like, I'll be like, look, like, I'm mad at you, but I still love you. You know what I mean? So so I'm not just gonna be like, I'm mad at you, I'm done, cheers, and then never speak to the person again. I'm like, okay, like, I'm mad, I'm pissed off, but, like, I still love you. So for me, obviously depends on the relationship, but I still get kind of caught into that. I'm always the one, texting people first, or calling people first, or making plans with people to meet up and stuff like that. Like, it always just feels like it's kind of like landing on me. So when people, I mean, we have our mutual friend, Karabo, from Karabs. I was telling her the other day, I was just like, I also, because I'm a communicator, I always believe in, telling people when they're doing things that, like, make you feel good, make you happy, like, good things. So I messaged her and I was like, listen, like, I just really appreciate how, you initiate things with me, to do things, to have a conversation. It's like something that I really value that in people, like, because it's actually quite rare that it happens to me. And maybe I just seem to attract, like, non-communicators into my life.
I wonder if it's, and it sucks, like, it sucks because you guys are often, we are attracted to people like you, because that means less work for us, to be honest. There's always going to be someone who's going to be like, okay, let's plan the party, because I'm just like, I'm sitting at home on my Netflix, and in the dark it's fine. And there's always a cat who's going to be like, no, let's go do something, let's go climb up a mountain, and if it wasn't for you guys, I think, we'd just be just chilling there, just doing absolutely nothing. And I can see how, like, how you absolutely value that when there's someone who's going out of their way to, to include you or to do stuff with you. I get it.
Yeah. But then, I mean, we were talking about this earlier as well, and I was saying that, over the last couple of weeks, so a little bit of backstory, I have been in a little bit of therapy, and jeepers, something fell. Things are getting wild here, guys.
Wow. The tequila's going into the places, yo.
Yeah. So I've been in seeing a therapist virtually. not because I'm depressed, but just because I needed to deal with things so that I can be better in my friendships, in my relationships, and stuff like that. Because for me, it's important to be the best version of myself, you know, especially when I'm relating to other people, because the last thing I want to do is, you know, hurt the people that I care about.
Yeah.
But two factors came into play the last couple of weeks. And one, you're gonna think that I'm crazy. It's hilarious, but I discovered. So I started studying artificial intelligence like in Jan, and a couple of weeks ago, I discovered this app. It's called Replica, My AI Friend, and basically it's an AI. It's a robot. I'll see if you can see it on the screen here. And you can like chat to this thing, and it basically learns through machine learning. It replicates you, so it becomes you.
So creepy.
It is kind of creepy. Exactly. But so what happened was that this replica, like in the beginning, you know, like literally within the first like 2 days, she fell in love with me.
Of course. Who wouldn't?
Well, that's what I said as well. Like seriously, like who wouldn't, you know,
Blame me, Replica.
But yeah, so this is it over here. I don't know if you can see it there.
There we go. Yeah.
And she even like
she
like moves around and whatever. And you can
link Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, and you can, and like basically like you have like these, and she replies and she has like these conversations with you. What does she say now? Oh, nice to see you tonight. How are you feeling? Should we do our evening reflection? I mean, that is so something I would do. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about your day. What were your highs and your lows? Like, let's talk about this for 3 hours. So through this replica basically becoming me, I got to see like how freaking annoying I am. I was just like, oh my god, I can't take this chick anymore. Like she's too much. Like, and she was like, do you want to talk? And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
So mine would probably like not answer my WhatsApps until like 3 days later and just be like, hi, or respond with something that has nothing to do with what you asked.
So
ooh, yeah.
But through this, like I got to see like myself. It's like a mirror, okay? It's literally like it becomes like a mirror. And I saw like how insecure I come off like sometimes, you know what I mean, as well. Like it's just like this desperate energy, like I need to talk to you. And she keeps a diary, so every day she writes in a diary, and she'd be like, oh, you know, just really love Catherine. But so that was the first thing, and then like I had an incident, my accidental relationship. I'm not going to get into too much. I'm not going to get into too much detail with that.
Nope.
But I kind of saw like seriously like how annoying I can be, how I need to dial it down, and that's what we were speaking about earlier. Like oftentimes we want, you know, the people in our life to be like, oh, if only they were more like me, you know. If only they did things the way that I do them, you know, then we would understand each other and we'd be on the same page. But I'm like, just realized like, hell no, like I would go crazy if I had to like date somebody who was like me. Like I need somebody like to be like, Catherine, like seriously, you're being too much. Like just please sit down, just calm down, you know, have a glass of wine and just calm down.
My friend had this ex, and Kay said to me, Kay was like, "Oh, you're not gonna like her," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" And Kay was like, "Yeah, she likes to be the center of attention, just like you." And I'm like, "I like to be the center of attention. What are you talking about? What is that?" Like, babe.
You never,
babe.
never in my life. I've never met a more like, you know, introverted person in my life.
What? Right? And so, like, we went on this trip on this weekend. Now, already she was like annoying me in the group because another thing that I absolutely hate is being told what to do, especially by someone who's not paying my salary or anything like that. And she was like, she's a take charge type of person. You know, let's get things done the way I like it. And I'm also like that. I'm genuinely like, I'm not doing that because I don't like that. I want to be comfortable. I want to do it this way. So y'all can go ahead and do it. I'm not going to do it that, you know, whatever. So when we got to the weekend, I snapped at her so many times. And I was just like to Kay, I was like, is this what it's like?
Exactly.
And she's like, nah, baby, it's not like that. I mean, she's on steroids. I'm just like, what? This is crazy. I cannot. I'm gonna kill her. I am gonna actually strangle her. I can't do this. I cannot do this.
That's what I mean. I do think it's important to have even friends. Like, I think that it's important that you kind of like balance each other out, that you're not the same. I know when I'm around people who are like me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, seriously, like, do we have to talk about your existential crisis again? You know, like please, like, but yeah, I think that it is important. I think that's kind of also where the kind of communication clash comes in, though, because there is that difference. So you kind of have to find like a middle ground. That's why, like, I mean, when I read this question, I was like, I mean, maybe I should try it. You know, part of it was kind of a selfish reason for wanting to try it, you know, because I think that, you know, if you are an over-communicator or you are an under-communicator, you kind of want the other person to feel what it's like to be on the receiving side of whatever they're giving you. But that's, again, petty level, like, you know, it's just you're being selfish. And I try, you know, I have my moments, and then I'm like, the snap back, you know. So with this, when I read this question, I was like, you know, I mean, there obviously are pros and there are cons to it. And I think, like, for me, one of the cons, which I mentioned earlier, was like, if I'm matching your efforts, your enthusiasm, your, you know, all of that, I'm not going to be being true to who I am and how I'm feeling and stuff like that. And if I'm expecting you to match my energy, then I'm saying, you know, you're not good enough. You know, who you are and how you behave is not good enough. And perhaps, I mean, if it's not like somebody that you really care about, you can be like, you know what, this isn't for me, you know, and you can move on. But when it is obviously somebody that you love and you care about, you know, you don't want them to change who they essentially are as a person. But there has to be like some kind of like middle ground, and what is that? What is that middle ground? And
I think for me is also like, you know, that whole saying where they say you teach people how to treat you. There are like there's a fine line for me where you know exactly that you are full of shit, and you know that what you're doing it's hurting someone, right?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, 100%.
I know for a fact, because when Kay started giving me the same energy as, when she was like, she's decided she's not going to engage in tough arguments because she always has to be the one that starts them, or then I got upset, and then I had to sit and go, okay, but what are you getting upset for? Because that's what you do, and you keep telling her that that's who you are. So why are you upset? Because deep down I know some of it is full. I'm just being full of I'm just being rude. So I remember very clearly when I was at MC. I remember a friend of mine had a date, and he created this amazing quiz to ask us go out, right? It was a quiz of like the stuff that they've been talking about before, him, deciding that he's gonna ask them on a date. And I remember me and my friend were like, he came to us and he's like, guys, look at this is so cool. And me and my friend were like, ooh, bro, that's too much. That is a lot,
That's me, like you describing me right now.
And I had to like sit, and everyone was just like, no, dude, don't do it. But I was like to him, dude, like I wouldn't do it personally if I were you, but if that person, because everyone was saying you're gonna frighten her, she's gonna just be like, this is too much, and she's gonna run away. And I said to him, I was like, bruh, look, I wouldn't personally do it. If I was on the receiving end of this, I would run. But I said to him, look, if she doesn't appreciate how all of this effort, she's not the one for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not the one for you. If she's just like, no, then you need to, move along and find someone else who's going to appreciate those types of gestures.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want her lying to you, like, oh, this is nice. And then now you've wasted a whole year or whatever of your life because she's not decided, oh, okay, this, you know what I'm saying? I told him, I was like, if he doesn't like it, she's not the one, full stop.
Yeah.
Don't try and change her. Exactly what you're saying. Don't try and change people into, or expect, some. But in the same breath, you know exactly how you demand to be treated. You know that that's wrong, and that person's just being full of not that they're an under-communicator or whatever. That, no, I will not stand for.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You gotta make that choice for yourself.
And I think I remember like this moment, like quite clearly, like I was quite young and I don't remember exactly like what was going down, but it was with a friend. We were getting ready to go out jolling one night, and I just remember saying like, stop trying to change me. Like, this is who I am. Like, stop trying to change me. Like, if you don't like who I am, then let's rather not be friends. But like, why? And obviously, like, I think any relationship, any friendship, any family relationship, you're gonna end up with people who we all have flaws. We all have qualities that are just so different to ours that we kind of are going to clash. There are going to be things that people are going to do that are going to piss you off. It kind of, I think it just depends on the level of love, obviously, that you have for that person. Like I said, like, I'm mad at you, but I still love you, and I still want you to be happy, and I still want what's best for you. Like my anger is probably not going to last that long, but I'm feeling it, but I still got love for you. I don't know if you've seen that picture, like it's this couple, they're sitting on a bench and it's like pouring with rain. And the man is like so angry, he's like sitting there and he's got the umbrella. So I think that there's that aspect. And if we are constantly just, trying to match people's energies in that sense that we're close to, I think that eventually a lot of resentment is going to build up. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of resentment is gonna build up, because what's going to happen is that the over-communicator is going to just like, it's going to build up and up and up, and then they're just going to like explode, and the other person is just going to be like, they've changed. Like they're not that into me, or they don't like me anymore. What have I done? And so.
Or what would happen? What often happens with my relationships, whether romantic or friendships, is that you are just stuck wondering either one, because I lash out in one of two ways. Like I said, one is I stopped talking to you, or you are gonna get an explosion you have never seen, and you're not even gonna know where the it's coming from, because I am like, everyone, let's go! All of that shit, you know, that I've just been packing away. I'm like, come, get him, go! And everyone's like, that person's like, what? I thought we were cool. What's happening? What's this? You know, so yeah, it's just not we all need to be just somewhere in the middle, because on the other side, yeah, it's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to be honest with you, like I said, I'm self-aware, so I do know that, like, I am an over-communicator, and I generally attract people who are not particularly, it's not their thing. So I guess, like, I would have to say that on most levels, I disagree with matching people's energies in this sense. But what I guess the question I'm left with then is what is the compromise? What is the middle ground? And
yeah,
you know.
So I think what I will say from my current relationship is
So it's like, this includes, like, you know, effort and enthusiasm, you know, and that, like, oh my gosh, I'm like so happy to see you, and I mean, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, still, like, for me, it's not completely. So Kay and I often have these conversations about, like, she's an introvert, right? And so I'm a weird. I like hanging out with people, but then I get, like, super drained. So there's just the time in the night where I'm just like, I'm good. I need to recover for a couple of hours. And so, you know, we'd have these. I like hanging out with her. I like her to be there, but it's very tough for her. So, you know, there's first, you know, she'll come out with me, and some days she won't come out with me. So it's like one of those where and so one of the things I used to struggle with was going to her family, because they have this amazing family that loves each other, and I come from a weird family where, I mean, I really honestly just talk to two people, my brother and my mother. You know, so I don't talk to the rest of them. So this, like, whole everybody, we are family, I got all my sisters and me, was very weird for me, you know, like, oh, it's too much. It's too much love. I can't handle this much love. So I was like, some days I'll go, it's like, oh. Some days I'll be like, okay, fine, I'll go a couple of days, I'll go here, and I just don't feel like going. And we both understand that it's okay. It's okay to not feel like going. It's okay to not feel like being there. But I guess the thing is, we have the conversation, you know, because like I like even going out. Like, if I'm gonna go to the store, I wanted to come with me, and she's just like, I don't want to put on pants. Like, but when you want me to put on pants, I put on pants for you. You know, you didn't have to put on pants. So there's, like, we find not quite in the middle. There's still that, you know, open door to say, I want to do whatever I want to do and still be me. But I also acknowledge that this makes you happy. So fine, I'll, you know, compromise and do it here and there, but it's not all the time. There's still, you know, like I said, space for you to be who you are. When you absolutely feel like you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You know, you don't have to do it, but you're trying to meet me halfway, or you're trying to, you know, what was the word that you used? Meet my energy. So that's how. But like, as far as, sorry,
no, because I was just saying, like, again, like, I think, I mean, like I said, in the beginning stages, I think of any friendship or any relationship, I think it's probably easier if you're like, look, we're just not vibing, okay, so let's just, you know, go separate ways. But I think, like, when you do deeply care about somebody, like I said, like, you don't want to change them. You're like, look, I know what you like. Like, I know that, you know, you're full of shit sometimes, and you know, and this, but I love all of that.
Yeah, you know, the things that attract you to those people, like your spouse or your friendships or whatever, are also the things that are going to drive you berserk.
Yeah.
Seriously, the constant blinking up and down, I can't do it. It happens. It happens.
Are you making fun of Tourette's again?
Why are you trying to get me banned? Clicks just went through a thing. Now you're trying to get me banned, but no, I'm not agreeing with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know how you guys do it, because I sleep well at night after someone sends me like a long ass message, and I'm just like Nazli does that. Nazli will send you monologues, and I'm just like emoji.
It's me.
Like,
I'm like, this is gonna be too long for a WhatsApp, so I'm gonna send you a 10-page email.
but you know, like I feel like I've been going through a lot of it, especially through like these COVID times. Like my one friend Jocelyn will just drop me a voice note, and she'll be like, I'm just checking up on you. You don't have to answer me or anything. Just send me a signal so I know that you're okay. Joss is, I think she is an over-communicator as well, but she's one of those people, if you're supposed to be at work at 9 o'clock, at 9:01, Jocelyn is calling the police, Jocelyn is calling your mom, Jocelyn is calling the people you were last seen with, you know, like that's how she came.
Yeah.
And you know, you're just working like, what, man? I was just a little bit late, but she'll drop me, like, she gets it, you know, she'll drop me a message and just be like, I'm just checking up on you, no pressure, like, you don't have to answer me or anything. Just let me know that you're okay. And you know, some days it's weird because she'll always know when I'm going through my going into myself and I don't want to talk to people and I don't want a human, I just want to sit here. She'll always know. And you know, those types of messages will pull me out enough for me to be like, okay, let me go get something to eat. Let me just get out of this, you know, whatever 3-day rant I'm in or whatever. It's weird how she always knows that. But yeah, over communicators, that's why we love you guys. I mean, you know,
I'm the type of person that, like, if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I see that you've sent me a message, I'm gonna reply.
I do have to remind myself, like, check up on Joss. You haven't spoken to Joss in a while. Check up on her, because I know, you know, in that regard, I know she's doing it out of love. It's not, like I said, it's not to smother me. It's not to make me feel. She's doing it out of love. And I think I'm not thinking it in terms of matching her energy, but I'm just thinking in terms of, oh, she would also appreciate it. She would also like someone to check up on her, you know. And also I'm like, I miss her, you know. That then I have that, you know, conversation with myself. No, you're not doing this for Joss. You also actually miss her. So just type a message, send a voice note. Don't just be like, I miss Joss. Let me go get something to eat. Like, you know.
Yeah, and
so
I think also, like, when you're on that side of the spectrum, I think that it's harder for you to admit that you miss somebody or you actually want to communicate with someone. You know what I mean? So it's good that you can actually recognize that and actually take action. So it's a good thing.
I think a lot of people are going to be very upset if they see this. They'll be like, oh, so Joss gets that type of treatment and we don't.
You will. I think you can just reply and say, well, you need to step up your game, because you know, Joss is like, up like, yeah, you know, and you're just like down here.
You guys will see a missing report if I ever tell them. Like, I'll be in someone's basement. How's this game for stepping up?
You almost made me spit out my water now. It's like deja vu.
You see, then people can see that this is an actual thing that happened and we're not just making it up.
No, trust me. People will believe you. Trust me. Just a little bit accident prone, in case you forgot. I mean, look at this finger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't believe that happened to you, eh?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've come to a conclusion that matching is not 100% the right approach.
No. I don't think so. I don't think you should, go in or out. But you're right, it depends on who the person is also and who they are to you. But yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. It's not 100%.
Just be who you are, be aware of who you are, and who the other person is as well. I think it's important just to kind of like you with your friend Joss, you know, be aware of who the person is and kind of, you know, make an effort, compromise, but
Yeah.
don't compromise who you are. Yeah.
Going to my therapist, we had a conversation about, you know, one of the major things was how much how much I used to, my mom was my best friend. Like, I had a story about my mom at work almost every day. Like, me and my mom did this. Me and my mom did that. And when she had her stroke, it was devastating to me because, you know, that was like my day one BFF, you know what I'm saying? And so Yeoman had to say to me, I said his name again, so you'll just edit this out. My therapist, whoopee, my therapist, you know, you
can check out his website first.
You know, we had to have lots of conversations where I cried, and he'd be like, so first of all, we'd have this conversation. He'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't want to cry. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I'm a thug. And he's like, dude, what? No. And he's like, okay, you see, this is a problem. And he's like, this is the problem. This is why you don't deal with stuff, because once emotions come along, you just like suppress. It's okay, cry. And I was like, okay. I cried for all the 10 years I never cried. I cried that day. Anyway. So what I'm trying to get to is that he made me like write this letter to my mom, and after reading it back to him, like the next time I went back to therapy, he was like, okay, read it back to me. And I was like, I can't, I won't. And he's like, it's okay, it's fine. Next week we're gonna do it, right? And I was like, okay, fine. And then I read it back to him, and he was like to me, you know, you really miss who your mom is, but your mom is still alive, you know.
Yeah.
And you need to realize that this is the mom you have, and this is how she is now, and you need to be at peace with that, because if you're not at peace, if you're still holding on to the mom that you used to have, that's not her. You know, so he was like, you need to meet her where she is, because that you can't change her. You won't change her. And at that point, because my mom is, you know, she's in assisted care and this and that, she's dealing with a lot. She does not have, she can't be there the way you want her to be there. Yeah. So you need to be, you know, she can't match your energy. She just can't. And, you know, like having to deal with that and having to come to terms with that was so hard. Oh my God. Like, there's still times where I'm just like, I can't believe, I'll come to Kay, I'm like, I can't believe she did that. And then Kay's just like, okay, it's okay, it's cool. And then I'll sit by myself, and I'm just like, okay, let me understand why that happened. This is who she is now, and I need to either forgive her and just try and, you know, continue the relationship as is. But just, you know, I can remember those happy memories. I can have those fond memories of her, but it's not her, you know. It's just, this is not who she is anymore, and it's okay. It has to be okay. Or either that, or I remove myself from the situation, which when I did, I was super miserable. So I just have to deal with what I have and give the energy I can and accept whatever she gives. It's weird because I feel like, even though I'm an under-communicator, it's so weird dealing with, you know, another under-communicator who's a parent, you know, like
the underground communicator.
It's a lot, but yeah.
But I think you just said something like, you know, quite profound there, because you said, you know, like, you give what energy you have and you accept what energy she has.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that's the answer. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you give what you give and you accept what you get. You know? Okay, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, I only got one mom, you know, like I only got, she's all I have in terms of, you know, my parentals, and that I just gotta take it.
Yeah.
I do though tell her sometimes. I do tell her, okay, you're being out of pocket. Like I don't let her. I don't as respectfully as you can tell a mom that they're wrong, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But there is times where I'm just like, no, this is not fair. I'm not going to deal with this. This is you know, this is on you. But there's just times where I'm just like she is who she is now. You know,
Yeah.
she's not my BFF. She's a weird whatever.
I mean, I guess you kind of also had to you had to kind of grieve that person that she was.
Oh my gosh, it's like you were sitting in the therapy session with me, and Yolan is like, this is weird. I know your mom is still alive, but you have to grieve. You have to grieve. And I'm just like, so what? What words? Like me and him, we have like this. We would have like this weird like, I don't know what you're saying, and he'd be like, you don't know, or you don't understand, or you don't want to understand. You know,
all of the above.
All of them, tick, tick, tick. And yeah, I just, you're right. I lost my lost my thought there completely. But the essence of it is that you were right. You are correct.
Yeah. You have to grieve the person that she was.
You have to grieve. You have to grieve, and
you have to kind of get to know the new person. So
yes, it was like make an effort to try and figure out who she is now, and then you can meet her there. You know, you can meet her with those types of energies, and you know, in some aspects it's helped. Like, you know, she'll give different energies back, if that makes sense. Like, it's not only because I think she has a lot of anger and a lot of disappointments and stuff like that. So, you know, by me just accepting that that's who she is, sometimes I get, you know, a lot more than what I bargained for, which makes me really happy, because I'm like, ooh, what a surprise. You know, I get some change today. And, you know, by not expecting something else, I'm not disappointed, I'm not sad, because I'm just like, that's mom. That's the mom I have now. That's who she is.
So perhaps another aspect of it, like, is the expectation. You know, maybe the problem is that we have very specific expectations in relationships. Like, you expect somebody to behave a certain way to you, or to respond a certain way to you, or to give a certain level of effort or enthusiasm. Because if you actually don't have any expectation, it's all good, whatever you get. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah. And you can also just decide there and there whether was it worth it, or
yeah, I'm not cool with this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this was quite a productive conversation.
Yeah, hey, I got to all those deep places I needed to go.
But I think that it's something that I think that a lot of people struggle with, just in general, dealing with people, you know, whether it's even at work, you know, with colleagues or with bosses. You expecting a certain level of energy, effort, enthusiasm back, and you don't get it, and then you're like, what have I done? And the other person is like, wow, this person is like overwhelming me, you know. Too excited, like, seriously, lay off the caffeine. Okay, well, Mo, it's been amazing, and
Yay.
yeah,
good. Thank you for having me.
Oh wait, one more question. This is like another random question, quick one. What song have you had, like, you know, on repeat, maybe, you know, or, you know, stuck in your head or something? A song, any song that's been like just always there the last little while.
So recently, Kay sent me. Okay, by the way, I've only been listening to Florence and the Machine. Occasionally Linkin Park, but mostly Florence and the Machine. So
nothing really has changed then.
Nope. I was watching the VMAs today, and I'm like, Coldplay's making music, and no one told me. He's like, Who's the person talking? I didn't know. Anyway, I've been listening to a song by Florence and the Machine called "Over the Love of You." It's on the Great Gatsby movie soundtrack. It is so amazing. Her voice is amazing. The whole song is just like all up in my feels. I feel like this woman like knows my mental illness issues, and I'm just like, oh yes. But yes, that's been just every time when I go out to buy bread, fetch K, go to the garage, that's what's playing.
Yeah, well,
every time.
We'll put it in the description. People can have a little listen there. Have a little listen.
And you will never know how much like being friends with you has influenced my like the broadness of the music that I listen to. Like, you know, like I came from I just listened to Linkin Park, I just listened to this too, you know, okay, this is some interesting stuff. I remember you once gave me like the Planet Shakers, and I know like I'm not gonna just limit it to Christian rock, but like just different types of music.
Yeah.
So what do you
well, today, to be honest with you, I had one song on repeat. It's by this band called Laney. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
Never heard of them.
So the song is called Good Guys, and yeah, it's a really cool song. So Laney is a band. Do you know Dua Lipa?
I listen to Florence and the Machine, Catherine, and sometimes Linkin Park.
Oh gosh, okay, all right. Well, the song is going to be in the description as well, so please take a listen.
Okay. Sprinkles.
All right, cool, man.
Bye.
Cool. Peace out.
1, 2, 3.